You're listening to the Kazual Sportz Show.
Palmer stepping away at first. Palmer extending the play. Crosses the field. Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald is going to take it into Green Bay territory.
The show exclusively known as the voice of the Arizona Cardinals fan club, the Bird Gang.
Fitzgerald inside the 30, 20, 30. It's insane.
Now with your host, Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E.
Bird Gang on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bird Gang.
Welcome, Bird Gang, Suns Nation, and all you wonderful fans out there in Arizona. It is, again, another week starting of your Kazual Sportz Show. And we are here to coming off of our first loss of the season.
Ugh.
So we have to muster up the energy to get through this thing. But we are here to do it for you as we do every week on every Monday night. Sean and I go over the game and go over what's going on in the world of sports. So here we go. You want to follow us and keep in touch with what's going on, follow us on our 4 major outlets on social media. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube page. And, of course, we are on Facebook Live right now. So you want to join us, go ahead and do so. Also, you can download the mobile apps at the website at www.ksrnaz.com. That's for Android and Apple or iOS, whatever you want to call it. But and also anywhere you get your podcast, you can also listen to any of these shows that you may miss during the week, of course, because we are Monday through Friday. Actually, Monday through Wednesday, skip Thursday, then Friday.
Hey, Thursday counts. We just do a little different.
Yeah, right. It's just
We still here.
The neutral zone, so we do our picks. So it's pretty much all the same thing. But welcome again, and man, here we go, man. Coming off our first show. This is our first show coming off a loss.
This year. We had a lot last year.
This year. This year's first show coming off a loss. So was it, in your opinion, just one of those things where we're listening to our press clippings, or did we just have a bad game?
Man, I think it was both. I think it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime, like you said, you throw 3 picks, you can't win a game when you throw 3 picks. And you can't win a game off the jump when you let the Detroit Lions look like that on their first drive either. So a little bit of both, I think, for sure. Yeah, we have a lot of issues that we overlooked.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So let's go ahead and see what's going on in this world of crazy COVID-19 sports.
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
In the Casual House.
Just an update. I'm pretty sure everybody's watching this game. 34-20. The Chiefs are putting it down on the Ravens. Ravens got shell-shocked in this one. Chiefs offense way too much for any defense. Doesn't matter if you are the number 1 defense in the league. They just went out there and embarrassed them. So 34-20, Chiefs are up. And that was not my pick in our
Not mine either.
picks. Anyway, I guess fools gold, man. Every game is different. You can't go looking at one game, what they did last week, and think it's going to match up to the next week. So you just got to.
Especially not in the first quarter of the season, man. We buy too much hype in the first quarter of the season.
Up and down. Yeah, up and down. But here's what else is going on in this crazy world. I mean, the sports world out here. We got. Hold on a second. I got to get my background thing going. Here we go. Okay. The NBA. Doc Rivers out as Clippers head coach.
Oof.
Stepping down is the name they want to go with, or is the phrase they want to go with. He's stepping down, or a mutual agreement for him to step down. But basically, he got fired. It's just too much respect for Doc Rivers for them to put in words, "We fired Doc Rivers." So of course, they're going to go with the Steve Ballmer and them are going to go with the mutual agreement to part ways. So. Man, what do you think about that?
Look,
he had 2 years left on his contract, so that's saying, was Doc the problem in L.A.?
I don't think Doc was the problem in L.A. I think the Clippers are just cursed, man. They're just cursed. I mean, you've been living in the Lakers' shadow in the Lakers' house for that long. You're just cursed.
Yeah, you
it's
get
not
all
matter.
that talent, and you still can't win.
If Phil Jackson took the Bulls in the 90s and put them in the Clippers, they wouldn't win. That's just how it goes for the Clippers.
Is it really that bad?
It's that bad.
That's cool. I don't know.
They're cursed.
I think everybody was expecting way too much from that team. First of all, when they get put together for the first time, sometimes, sometimes, most of the time, that doesn't work. You got to give it a year at least for them to build up to being that team that everybody wants them to be. I mean, they went as far as they went was pretty good, but I think, you can see the difference in the team that they were playing against. The team that they were playing against in the Nuggets was a together team that has been together for 3+ years.
Right.
So, I mean, Clippers hadn't been together like that with those two superstars. So, but now when you look at it this way, Doc has had a pretty good career, being a coach, period. But he's the only NBA coach in history to lose a 3-1 deficit 3 times. I was like, wow, that's incredible. He did it back in 2015 to the Houston Rockets. They lost. They were up 3-1. And then when he was on with the Orlando Magic in the first round, the Detroit Pistons beat him in 2003. And then, of course, this time. But when you squander a 3-1 lead with talent like that, choking away second half leads of 16, 19, and 12, I think that was time for him to go because that's coaching. I mean, they didn't look motivated enough, or something was missing. Part of that again is chemistry, but another part of that is, what's Doc doing that he wasn't getting their attention and getting them to do what he wanted them to do on the court.
Yeah, you're talking about a fit. It's all about fit, right?
Yeah.
Look, the Miami Heat didn't fire Eric Spoelstra the first time they didn't win when they bought the big 3 down. I'm just saying, yeah, like you said, there's a lot of pressure on there. Will actually brings a really interesting point off of Facebook, says Houston's going to go and sign Doc. I think Houston signing Doc would be a great idea.
Oh, that would be nice. That was my next question. Is Doc done? Somebody's got to get that guy, right? I mean, this is actually the third African American coach, dinosaur, good coach that got released. Nate McMillan, Alvin Gentry, and now Doc Rivers. Of those 3, Doc has got to be the one people go after, right?
I think, yes, he's the bigger name, but Alvin's got a lot of respect in this league. He still holds a lot of weight with what he was able to do in New Orleans with the Pelicans before things got better. So
he got done wrong. He got done dirty in New Orleans.
Yeah, he did for sure. I'd like to see,
and when he left here, he got done dirty. So
I'd like to see Alvin with the Clippers.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Or it'd make more funny sense for the Clippers to have D'Antoni. Why don't they just switch coaches? Houston and Clippers just switch coaches.
No, please.
You don't have to teach defense when you have the claw, right?
Oh my God, don't.
You don't need defense when you got the claw. Come on.
Please don't. Please do not destroy that team with that name to pick up. That would be horrible. That would be horrible. But anyway, I think Doc would be a good fit, like you said.
Very good fit. It's a good point, Will.
Yeah. That would be a pretty good fit to get that team to finally play some damn defense. But also, we can look back. Of course, the Lakers advanced. We over the weekend. We were not doing a show where we could talk about it. So the Nuggets game, the Lakers advanced with a hobbling Murray, and there was no way he was going to win that game with him hobbling like he was hobbling. But they gave it their best shot. Lakers were too strong. And then the Heat just, put it on the Celtics last night. I mean, I was watching that, and I was going, you can tell when you got a young team that doesn't know how to win yet because they just start jacking up threes. And they were not down by that much. They just started yakking up the threes, and everybody wanted to play hero ball and be that guy that's going to bring it back and take them on home. And they were all shooting threes. And then as they kept shooting the threes, Bam just kept killing them in the paint. So I was like, man, Miami wasn't playing. And I love what Spoelstra did with his lineup. He sat Dragic and Crowder down, who's usually the finishers in that aspect, and put the 2 kids on the court, and they finished the game.
Yeah.
Hero and what's the other guy, Duncan Robinson. I mean, those kids are dynamic, and they're going to be there in Miami for a long time to have to be dealt with. So going forward, what do you see this? Just a quick preview of this Lakers Heat matchup. What do you think?
There's going to be a lot of media hype about this, obviously because of LeBron and Miami. But Miami's built themselves a sneaky, gritty, going to just beat the crap out of you type of team. And they're young, and they have the energy to make you look tired. I think this is a series. This is actually a series. I'm surprised. I like Miami. I don't know if I like them all the way against Lakers that long, but I like Miami. Why not? Forget you, Jay. Lakers lose.
I kind of like the idea. Everybody's giving the Lakers, the nod. Of course, they are the heavy favorite. But I mean, I think that's a little bit, overblown a little bit because the Heat, both teams are 12-3 through this whole playoffs. The Heat swept through first two rounds, and of course, you can look at the competition and go, okay, that's why. But okay, still, they swept through the first two rounds. They lost their only 3 games in that last series. And so the Lakers also only lost 1 game in each series. So it's still, I mean, they both are 12-3. So that you can't overlook that. So
right.
There's a reason why the Heat are here. And there's a reason why the Heat from a 5 seed catapult up to the top and be the best in the East, because they're starting to play this team ball that is infectious and this team defense that is really infectious. And it's like those kids are just buying into whatever Eric Spoelstra is selling them. And that's what's getting them going. And you got a rookie in Tyler Hero that can put on a performance like that in a playoff series as a rookie. That is incredible.
And all of these things that you said are true, and you still haven't even really once mentioned Jimmy Butler.
I know.
Like that's what's crazy about this, is that these guys are getting mentioned just as much as Butler.
Yeah. Hero is the man, Will. I agree with that, because that's my dude. That's my dude right there. Tyler Hero. I've been watching him since his college days and his high school days, actually, and then in the Kentucky days, and then bam. That kid is going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
And I mean that. He is going to, when Dragic leaves that team, he might be going to free agency at some point.
Likely,
when Butler's gone into free agency at some point, Hero is going to be the man to take over that team as the superstar.
You saying they'll play hero ball?
Exactly. They playing some serious hero ball when it's all said and done. As a rookie coming in, getting this experience, oh man, he's going to be dynamic and going forward. He's going to be something else. But yeah, you think he a sandwich now, Jay? Watch what he do to them Lakers and them sorry little dudes like what's the dude that can't hit threes he only hits threes when they up? Danny Green. Yeah, he gonna eat that dude alive.
Better than LeBron's hairline, that's for sure.
But let's not just say this is gonna be a walk-away series, because the Heat and that Miami pedigree and that Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra type thing, that ain't just gonna go away. That ain't gonna lay down for any team. And at the same time, Eric Spoelstra knows LeBron James. I ain't saying he knows him to the point where he can beat him, but he knows his weaknesses.
Yeah.
He knows what LeBron's not going to be comfortable with doing. So if he can get some people to get him out of it and take him out of a game. AD hasn't been here. He hasn't been this far. You want to depend on him, you're going to be in trouble. So if we can get LeBron, we're not going to take him out of the game, but we got to limit LeBron. They have to limit him, from being dominant.
And Spoelstra's system
That's
isn't
easier
the same.
Easier said than done. But Jimmy Butler is up for it. I'm telling, that's one dude that's not going to back down. He's going to be up for it.
Yeah.
So I like this series. I like this series from the defensive standpoint for both teams. Both teams are really good defensively. So I would love to see how this is going to play out. I want to see how Anthony Davis handles the limelight in the finals. Because the Heat are definitely going to be doubling on LeBron. I can guarantee you that.
Oh, yeah.
And they are going to force Anthony Davis to be the man. And Bam is not going to just let him roam free and do his thing that he was doing in all them other 3 series. So that's going to be good to watch. That's going to be really good to watch. What else we got going on? Of course, the MLB is going to be starting their playoffs, and I don't want to get into that yet, but I just want to say one thing about that. You got to be knowing that the favorite has got to be the Dodgers, right?
Not in my opinion. They choke every year. Come on, man.
That's my point. They got to be the favorite to get there. But now that's the next question was, can they actually win the whole thing? The way they've been dominating, the way they've been dominating all season long. At some point they got to finish it off, right? Who's going to stop them this time? It's going to be just this team that's going to come out of nowhere again and cut them off and stop them at the championship again, like they always do.
Yes.
He said yes.
And
you just said that because you're Arizona.
It's
Arizona
one
fans,
thing that we need is consistency in 2020. The Dodgers have to choke in the World Series. It's consistency. We're getting back to normal. This is going to get us back on schedule. Things are going to open up. It's going to be great. Thank you, Dodgers. Appreciate it. Way to take one for the team.
Hey, Will, don't take nothing that Javon is saying personal. He's part of this family thing. He loves to just troll us and give us a hard time, but he don't mean no harm. He's harmless. Trust me.
Unless he's on the mic, then he's savage. Savage on the mic.
Exactly. But, man, we're going to take our quick first break here real quick, and we got a lot of Cardinal talk to get into, man, and coming off a loss, oh, man, this is going to be interesting what we talk about. So stick around, Bird Gang. We're going to break down why they lost this game and going forward to the next few opponents coming up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Take a little break, but we'll be back in a while, so don't nobody go nowhere.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Hi, this is Ed Smith, host of the Easy Sports Talk Show. In addition to hosting the show every Saturday, did you know I'm also an inspirational and motivational speaker? Utilizing life experience in my 15-year professional sports career, I offer programs to a wide variety of audiences, tips from the locker room to the boardroom and beyond. Whether you're a corporate executive, sports organization, or faith-based organization, Ed Smith Speaks can customize a team-building, motivational, and inspirational program to fill your needs. I'd love to come inspire and motivate your group to create lifelong shining moments. To learn more about booking me for your event, visit edsmithspeaks.com or contact me directly at info@edsmithspeaks.com.
This is Larry Fitzgerald. You listen to the exclusive voice of the Bird Gang, Kazual Sportz.
This is Cliff Kingsbury, and you're listening to the second best sounding voice in the Valley, Casual E, on the Kazual Sportz Show here on KSRN, Arizona.
All right, welcome back into the Casual House. Monday night, Earl Burnett, Casual E with my man Sean McConnell. We're not as bummed as we probably used to be on the losses coming in on Mondays, but we're still a little disappointed, I would just say, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned. I have concerns.
Really? Yeah, you could be right. There's a lot to be concerned about. I get that, but I'm not as bummed as like last year's we coming in with losses. But this year, I mean, it wasn't like we were going to go 16-0, and you knew we were going to have one of those games where we let get away, or at least one or two get away. So if there was going to be one that we would choke on, it would probably be this Detroit team. Like our man Benny Blue from the JB and Benny Blue review was spot on with this pick. He's told us on Neutral Zone Thursday that these two teams are going to play close no matter what. It doesn't matter what direction either team is going in. They just play each other close regardless. And he was dead on. And I don't know why I saw differently, because I thought we were a better team than Detroit. As a matter of fact, I still think we're a better team. It's just that team knows us. They know how to play us for some reason. But before we get into the Cardinals, we got some things to get into to talk about as far as around the NFL. Tonight, of course, the final 34-20. The Chiefs pretty much shut the Ravens up, talking about who's the best team in the AFC. Miami beats the Jacksonville 31-13. Buffalo over the Rams 35-32. Was that a hell of a game?
That was a great game. Did you catch any of that game?
I caught the fourth quarter of that game. That was unbelievable. That Josh Allen, of those 5 quarterbacks that came out in 2018, was it? Man, he's probably what, the best of all of those now, because Lamar's kind of, he's Lamar Jackson with the running part, but throwing the ball, Lamar's not up to par yet. This Josh Allen, man, this dude can run and throw that rock, man. And we thought he was an inaccurate quarterback. He shut that noise up.
Yeah, I mean, it was. That game blew my mind.
That noise up.
That game blew my mind.
You did what?
It blew my mind, that game.
Yeah, that team's going to be hard to stop, especially with that defense behind them.
Oh yeah.
New England takes down the Raiders. I thought the Raiders would play a better game than that, but New England is still more powerful than the Raiders are as far as Bill Belichick goes over Gruden. And so the Tuck rule thing still looms over the Raiders when it comes to playing New England.
Ooh.
And then, of course, the Cleveland Browns took down the Washington football team, 34-20. Pittsburgh goes 3-0 to beat the Houston Texans, 28-21. Frisco downs the Giants big time, 36-19. And the Eagles and Bengals give us our first tie of this season. A tie, the Eagles. Wow, Jeff Burrow is the man in Cincinnati for sure. The Eagles, I don't know what to say about them. Tennessee beats the Vikings. They're 0-3 now.
Ooh, that happened quick, didn't it?
Another Atlanta meltdown, 30-26. The Chicago Bears come back, replacing Mitchell Trubisky with the Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles. And he went out there and did what Nick Foles does. And that's just
wins, baby.
Stay calm and win games. And he likes to win them coming from behind. So
it's true.
And that's going to be. And also today, of course, they went down and also said he will be the starter, like as if anybody thought it would be any different.
No, we're gonna bench you and then we're gonna put you back.
We're gonna just let you. We needed to win that one game. We still want Mitch to be our.
Because we can't lose to the 0-3 Falcons, which that's crazy in its own right.
Right.
You're winning in every game and then you go 0-3. Come on.
Well, man, it's got to be Dan Quinn's time now, right? They got to be getting rid of that guy mid-season.
He's doing the best he can to get out of that door, but they just won't let him. They won't let him go. He's trying.
So, they just never, ever have defense around for Matt Ryan to play off of. They never have a defense for him to, for them to get stops where he comes on and still does what he does and keep them. They would win games if they had a defense that can stay in games. Where did I leave off? 36-7, the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers gets another win over the Jets. Carolina 21-16. That was a surprise over the Chargers, but of course that is a rookie quarterback that they prepared for it, and everybody had time to prepare for it, and he didn't surprise anybody. So they brought some stuff that the rookie might have had trouble with, and he did have trouble. Although that last play on the game, man, if he catches that ball, that's a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
The little flea flicker when he caught it and he threw it too hard to Eckler, the running back, and it bounced off his chest. But if he caught that, that would have been a crazy finish to that one.
Yep.
Brady gets a win, 28-10 over Denver, which was expected. And the Dallas Cowboys comeback pedigree falls short again. Well, fall short this time. They came through last time, but they fall short to that Seattle offense that is just dynamic. And Russell Wilson has 14 freaking touchdowns in 3 games. He is just playing lights out, automatically going to be the MVP starting out for sure. And we got all these games left to play. And I don't see him slowing down unless he gets hurt or something.
Can we just talk NFC real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The NFC East has got to be the largest dumpster fire of the NFL. Look. Washington has 1 win. Dallas has 1 win. Philly and the Giants have no wins. That division has a total of, if you're doing math right at home, folks, 2 wins. Now the NFC West has no winless teams. 2 wins, 2 wins, 2 wins, 3 wins. Again, math for those at home, that's 9 wins. If they don't let all 4 of us get into the playoffs, I'm boycotting. They got to do something.
Yeah, that probably won't happen because somebody in the NFC East has to win that division.
No one is good enough to win that division.
I know, but that's the whole thing. Somebody has to win it. So only one team's coming out of the East. So 3 teams for sure can come out of the West. That's for sure. So I don't know. I think that's probably what's going to happen. 3 teams may make it. Because if you look at the standings, who else is going to make it 2 teams in one division?
Tampa and New Orleans is the only one I'm
going
going
New Orleans,
with.
Okay. And then you got what?
Green Bay and Chicago right now, but I don't believe in Chicago.
Is Chicago really going to be a contender now that Foles has stepped in there now?
It makes a jump, but I don't think enough.
Okay, so we can get 7 teams in, so that would put still only 2 people coming from the West. So
2020, man, make
a
a
tough ride.
change.
You know Seattle's not going anywhere.
No,
their
schedule gets easy.
The Rams look pretty like they're back on some form of on being on track. So I don't know. That's going to be hard to come out of that West.
Seattle and the Rams both have a little bit easier schedule than we do within like the next 4 games. Theirs is a little bit easier than ours.
Right. There was a bet that went down over the radio with Arizona Sports with Keyshawn Johnson and Burns and Gambo. And Keyshawn came on there saying that he don't think the Cardinals are going to win 8 games. And Gambo and them were, betting them that they'll win 8 games. But when you look at our schedule, there's definitely 8 wins there. I mean, when you look at the teams that we have coming up, these next 2 opponents, and there's a Miami Giants, the Eagles, all those teams that are on our schedule that are down bottom feeders can definitely get us to 8 wins. To get to the playoffs is going to take what, 9-7, 10-6?
With the NFC West, you might have to just say 11-5 is your safe number. Man. That's your safe spot because look.
Well, 11-5 would be the winner of the West, but that doesn't necessarily mean that 11-5 is going to take you to the playoffs. If every team has to be 11-5.
I'm telling you right now, Seattle's going to be higher than 11-5. Los Angeles will be pushing 10. Their record is cake. They make our record look tough. Los Angeles and the Seahawks records are cake compared to ours. San Fran has the hardest record, and they're all banged up. So I'm going to count them out, but I can't discount them too much because those guys will come back eventually.
Right.
Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. So I feel comfortable with 11-5 making the playoffs. Because how many times does this team get screwed out of the playoffs with close records? 9-7 is going to do it. 10-6 is going to do it either. I'm thinking 11-5.
But there's definitely no way. I don't think this team, with the schedule, the way the schedule is for the Cardinals. I mean, trust me, I'm a Cardinals, advocate. I mean, I'm gonna be that man that's gonna try to be positive, but there's no way they're going 11-5. There's no way.
I know.
Way they're going 11-5. I can tell you that just by looking at the schedule and the teams that are on this schedule. And we're going to get into why I don't think they're going to go 11-5. Unless this could get cleaned up, we'll see. But we'll see. Anything can happen. I'm not saying it can't happen, but I just don't think with the strong schedule we have coming up in the mid-season area, we got a lot of opponents, man, that are playing at a high level right now that we haven't got to that level yet.
Yeah.
And we got to clean some things up. Let's get into what this game was about and what we need to clean up. Before I do that, real quick, the Packers 37-30 over the New Orleans Saints. That was the last game we had to talk about it. Aaron Rodgers is the man. Drew Brees is old, and it's almost over with down there. But do you go to Jameis Winston?
Heck no.
Hell to the no, right?
Not a chance.
Oh, man. But on this Cardinal game, Matthew Stafford was going to be, in the first 5 games, the best quarterback we faced. So Benny was right on. That's why he said that this game could be closer. The Lions probably could be pull off the upsets because Stafford. And after seeing it, I agree with it, of course, after the fact.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, that is it. Stafford is not a bad quarterback. Stafford is a damn good quarterback when he's got a front line in front of him and all those weapons that he has. And he burned us with those weapons. And so he's the best quarterback we're going to face in the next couple of weeks. And so these next 2 opponents that are coming up, the Cardinals can play as bad as they played right now and still win those games. But going forward, they cannot continue to have these struggles, the way that we're having struggles with. And what are the things you think that we're struggling with? What are some of the things that we're struggling with?
Opening drive defense for starters. I mean, you make Adrian Peterson not just look like he's rejuvenated. He looked like old Adrian Peterson on that first drive. Right. It was incredible. I was going, are you kidding me? Missed tackles, bodies flying all over. I saw Red laying down all over the field. That's the problem.
He was putting people jock straps on the day field.
Good grief.
That spin move, just like, okay, that's it.
That wasn't even a fast spin move, and it got us.
I know. It was really slow. It's like, what the hell? We can't even tackle this dude. Oh man, yeah, you're right. Our run defense hasn't been great. We're still allowing almost 5 yards of carry to teams.
Yeah, too much.
That's gonna get you beat halfway. Get you beat every game if you can't stop the run. And Detroit didn't really come down and run it at us that much as far as just down our throat, but they did get those big running plays that set up their passing game.
Yeah,
and Kyler Murray just was off in this game for whatever reason. I do not know. The kid was late on a lot of throws. That's where he got 3 interceptions from. He was late on those throws, first of all, and he just did not look like the Murray passing-wise that he's been looking like, training camp in the first couple of games. So I am going to put a lot of this, and I'm going to talk about Cliff Kingsbury for a second. A lot of this is on him, a lot of it, because I do not like the fact that he comes out trying to be Sean McVay. He's trying to be Kyle Shanahan. He's trying to be Andy Reid and all the innovation and all the mix it up and looking like it's confusion. He's overthinking this coaching thing, and he is really making his team confused and struggle. And you saw the disagreement with him and Kyler on the sideline. That has a lot to do with what Cliff is doing. Cliff is getting too cute and coming out, passing the ball on 7 to 8 straight downs.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get a rhythm going for your running game, because that's what's going to allow us to start to open up the big stuff is that running game. And we haven't got that going yet. And he is just stubborn and not getting that running game going.
The one that I think killed us the most, what was it? I want to say it was a 4th and 1, right? We bring Strevler out.
That's the one I'm talking about. You
bring Strevler out. You bring Murray out. You take him out.
The field.
So now not only is he not snapping the ball, you got a different guy snapping the ball. Then you get, a false start, right?
Right.
So now you're 4 and 6.
Yeah.
You can't convert.
That's one of our main issues is the pre-snap penalties. We still are doing a lot of that. But you just ask for that one when you take your quarterback with the same cadence that the team is already listening to, and you bring a new guy in with a new cadence and your quarterback's on your star quarterback, who's the actual threat to pick up that yard, mind you. If he's on the sideline, Cliff, how does that fool anybody? How's that going to – where's the deception at? Everybody knows Strevler's going to run the ball. They're going to stack that line. You would have probably lost that yard anyway.
Yeah, probably.
That was one of the worst. That tells me he is way, way overthinking this thing. And him and Kyler were going at it on the sideline over that play. Yep. And you could tell that Kyler was like, why am I off the field? And now that Cliff needs to – matter of fact, let's listen to what Cliff said coming off that loss.
Say something, Cliff.
Very good game. We turned the ball over 3 times. They didn't turn it over any, 12 men on the field, things of that nature. Just those will get you beat, and that's what happened today. Yeah, that's on me. I should have done a good job, a better job of finding ways to get him the football. He's, heart and soul of this team, and when he's getting the football, good things happen. So that's completely on me, and I got to find a way to get him more incorporated in the offense moving forward.
That's a season. That's one season, a full season, and 3 games so far that you keep saying, I didn't call a very good game. That's on me. It's good that you can stand up and take that and swallow that and take that on your shoulders. But when do you actually start to call a good game? It has to be on him. This whole thing has to come down on him. He needs to stop coming out with this cute offense and go with what was working. What was working the last 5 games last year was a power running game, opening up our wide receivers. That's how we won the first 2 games. Barely won them, but he was still trying to do all that innovative stuff, but we still came down to running that football and opening up the big play.
Right.
He wants to get this offense for some reason to look like Texas Tech, and it's not going to happen in the NFL. It's not going to happen. That's been my gripe with Cliff the whole time. And Jay said it on a couple of the shows. Is he going to go back to that and Jay was right. He is trying to go back to that. Spread them out and let's do it. It's not working, especially now we don't have too many receivers that are doing it now. I mean, it looks like just Kyler and Hopkins, and that's it.
That's it. Obviously, we know Kirk was out. He'll be back next week. That's the hope. But okay, another point I got to make. Cardinals cut the wrong wide receiver. Keyshawn Johnson, 2 targets, 2 catches of 7 targets. Butler should have been in there. I'm just saying. I'm not happy with 2 for 7, especially when you're only going to target Larry 3 times, 1 reception for 0 yards. Not working.
Here's another thing that just driving me nuts. Here's another reason why this is a reason why the Washington football team came back and got 2 touchdowns in that game last week. We should have blew them out. They shouldn't even scored a touchdown in that game. And this week we could not stop. And that's what is Vance Joseph thinking by allowing the DBs to play off receivers that are fast.
He's been doing it for years.
Every last receiver of the Detroit Lions, who are already threats to begin with, are getting a free release off the front line, and they're running crazy. Nobody can stop them. Dude, tell your DBs to jam those receivers at the dang line of scrimmage to throw those routes off so the front line could get time to get to the quarterback. And here's the part what I'm talking about. Before the half, we went up 13-10, right?
Yeah.
And he went into a soft zone and allowed Matthew Stafford to chunk us with 20, 10, 11, and 15-yard passes that were short passes that turned into long ones because we were playing back. Like it's the end of the game, like he's playing a prevent. What the heck was that all about? You got to play that defense as though the game is still like in the middle of the first quarter.
I think he has an inability to put together a complete scheme. What I mean by that is, okay, I want to blitz. You guys just play zone, whatever. I'm not going to think about it. I want to focus on the blitz now. It's got to be all together or nothing at all. Right. And what we saw was nothing at all. The problem that I'm seeing too is maybe our defensive backs are playing off because they might be lacking some of that speed to play on and jam. Because we've seen certain players have to jam and then still get beat. That's a problem.
I kind of disagree with that because Patrick Peterson's fast enough.
Is he?
Jacob Patrick is fast. Is he? Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying, he's fast enough to cover. He knows how to cover. This thing has to be a cohesive type thing that works together. If it's not working together, it's not going to work. And what I mean by that is if you throw off the routes to those, especially a Matthew Stafford, who is a quarterback that can pick you apart with his receivers, if you do not throw off at least 1 or 2 of those dang progressions that he goes through, that's going to make it harder for your defensive line up front to get sacks. And we got 4 sacks in this game that really meant nothing.
Yeah.
We did not get those sacks when it was time for crunch time in that last drive. We needed to stop them. We couldn't get the sack. Why? Because we're not jamming those receivers to bust those routes up to allow that front line to put some pressure on Stafford.
Right.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
They got to work together. And why, as a defensive coordinator, you can't see that? I don't get that. They did the same thing last week with the Washington football team where that one little 2-year receiver looked like an all-star football, all-pro in the second half, catching slants on us from a 2-year quarterback that's not that good at throwing the ball. Yeah. The reason why? No bump at the front line, and bam, wide open receivers running all over the place. So that just really frustrated me. Like, why are we just going to let this team come right back down the field, take the momentum that we just got? And it was that kind of game. It was that type of game. Like, we just could not get the momentum and stay with the momentum, and they just took over the game from us. So we got to shoot the defensive stuff up. We got to stop the stupid penalties that are stopping good drives.
Yeah, big ones.
We drive down the field and get in position, and here we go. We've been offsides, holding. I'm like, dang, when is this team going to play a clean game? Oh, man. Oh, it's crazy. My man Will here says we need to watch the film. Pathetic Peterson was just oh man, he says Peters is no use for him. Wow. He hasn't been cutting. Nobody on his team's been covering receivers good enough. I mean, nobody. I don't know if it's like you said, Sean, if it's speed or if it's whatever, but the first things first, this is just football 101 to me. I was always taught you got to jam that receiver. Especially a star receiver. You got to jam that guys. Get him off that route.
Yeah.
And we're not doing that, man. We're not doing that. And we're going to keep getting blown away with teams that can throw the ball on us if we don't, get up there and jam these receivers at the front of the line.
Yeah. I want to say, Vance Joseph, your seat warmer has finally been turned on. It's on. If it starts to get hot, let me know.
Yeah, it got hit in the last 2 weeks. Everybody was all excited about the wins, but your deficiencies come out when you start playing quality teams.
Winning fixes everything, but losing to the Lions fixes nothing.
Right. I can't really say that Detroit's a quality team, but Detroit offensively is a challenge for your defense.
They're formidable.
That shows where we were defensively. We're not where we think we are. So, man, to get 4 sacks back-to-back weeks, and the 4 sacks, you just look at them like they looked almost like garbage sacks. Like, what did it mean?
They're empty sacks, right? Like Chandler says, he loves how Vance talks about sacks, but that's just because Vance figured out how to get sacks that don't actually do anything for your team.
Right.
That's what that is. Sacks are great, but they also have to do something for your team.
And we are probably one of the only teams left in the NFL that has no interceptions as far as the secondary goes. And that's another thing. That's why you don't get interceptions is because you don't jam the receivers to make the quarterback throw the ball off a little bit and he throws it to you. Yeah. That's all part of football. If you're giving free release to all receivers and all the lanes are wide open, you're not going to get no interceptions.
They're just playing catch.
Yeah, to me, that's just one-on-one football to me. I'm sorry. I have been on that since last week, and it's been the same every week. And until I see that change, if that doesn't change,
last year,
keep giving up 200, 300 yards passing. Huh?
And last year, too. Not just last week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely last year for sure. Another part of this game where we lost this game, of course, was on the Kyler Murray's interceptions, of course, setting them up with shorter fields, which is what the Washington football team did last week when we, gave them a short field. They started to get some type of, offense to score. 3 interceptions, you cannot win throwing 3 picks in a game. And Kyler, after the game, explained his interceptions.
Or all 3. On that one, I threw it behind him. I don't really think it was, I think it was a user error. I mean, I could have, that's an easy completion every day of the week. Just like I said, I threw it behind him. The one to Dan, don't really know. I mean, I got my arm hit. After that, I was on the ground, and by the looks of the reactions, it was an interception. And the other one to Larry, just a good play, bad read.
So he owns up to it. Good plays that they made. I mean, and bad reads, all bad reads, and he was making bad reads the whole night. The whole game. Everybody could see clearly on tape. I watched it again, like, wow. The last play he forced, and Isabella broke off his route and was deep in the corner.
It would have been gone.
Wide open. I mean, literally, he would have walked in the end zone.
Could have, yeah.
Kyler was not making reads at all to the level we know he can make reads, especially being at the level he knows this offense. He was not making reads in that game. And sometimes we saw this last year. When he starts out in a funk like that, it's tough to get him out of that funk. But he usually comes out of the funk in the fourth quarter, and this is the first time he didn't do that. Our fourth quarter, we had 8 plays. The fourth quarter, we had 8 plays, a 3-and-out and 5 plays and a punt. We had 8 plays and no scoring in the fourth quarter, which we always, in the first 2 games, we score in the fourth quarter. That's how you win games. Kyler usually gets it together, and we score in the fourth quarter. We didn't score in the fourth quarter, and we had 8 plays. I was like, wow, something's wrong.
Yeah.
What's going on with the offense, Cliff? That's on you, man. You got to call a good, clean game and get this thing offense balanced and keep it balanced and stay with that identity. Stop trying to go back and forth to this whatever. I don't even know what to call it. What do we even call this offense?
I got something. I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
We'll call it Cutesberry.
Cutesberry.
It's late. I don't know.
How to make that stick a little bit.
Cliff Cutesberry offense. Yeah. Yeah. It works.
But yeah, man, it's frustrating, man. But next week, of course, we got the Carolina Panthers, and we should not overlook that team either, because, I mean, if you can throw the football, you might have a chance to stay in the game with this Cardinal team. And Bridgewater has done a good job at throwing the football this season. He might not have a lot of weapons, but he's putting up some decent numbers throwing the football. He's not going to be that Matthew Stafford that's going to pick you apart type of guy. But if you got guys that are not covering receivers, it's going to be some deep stuff open in that game too.
Right.
So I don't know. We're gonna break that game down probably tomorrow during the week going into the neutral zone. But let's go with the categories. Give me somebody on the defensive end that played a decent game on Sunday. It's hard to kind of pull, huh?
I cannot get mad at the defensive line. I can't.
Right.
Short of some of the runs that broke off. I mean, Peterson had 75, right? But a lot of that was still missed tackles in the backfield. Yeah, running backs aren't supposed to get past your defensive line, but they handled the passing game as best as they could. Right. I'm not happy with Chandler not getting there on single coverages. I mean, he was doubled sometimes, but when he was singled, he should have got there. Whatever. I'm going to say I still really like seeing Blackson play. I like seeing Kennard play. I'm going to give it, though. I'm going to give it to Campbell. I like how Campbell plays.
Well, yeah, he's been playing consistent. Probably the only consistent one so far this year, tackling wise, and at least being in the right place where he's supposed to be on the field, and not giving up a busted coverage or something here and there.
He's good because you usually see his shoulder, and you usually don't see the back of his jersey.
Exactly. I kind of like. I mean, this is going to be probably a crazy pick, but I like the way Hassan Reddick is playing right now. I do. I like how he's coming off the edge.
He had a break up in coverage. You see that?
Yeah, and still getting in coverage and breaking up stuff, and he's starting to pick up how this thing works. And yes, he still gets beat by the tight end every once in a while, but I mean,
who doesn't on this defense? I mean,
right.
Come on.
If you're playing a good quarterback with a good tight end, that's going to happen. You're not going to win every battle, but I like how he's battling. I like how he's playing the game right now.
Yeah.
One thing I would say that you talked about with Chandler Jones, and this comes along with what I was saying before the season even started. We talk too much in the media. We do too much yapping. We do too much crap to put pressure on ourselves to perform. And when he came out on that dang radio station talking about he was going to beat the sack record, it's easy. It's really easy. It's no problem. I was like, dude, shut the hell up. All you're doing is just putting the pressure on yourself and the team to perform, and then you start making that your focus, and you get off the dang game plan. And just go play the game and be quiet.
Here's another example of that. The David Johnson 1,000 thing he kept talking about every year. And every year he talked about it, he just got worse.
Man, this team has been notorious for that. Go back in the days of BA being here. When he went back to Pittsburgh, we got to get this for BA. We got to get this win. And it's like talk. Shut up. Just play the game.
Yeah.
When we won the game last week, 2-0, I can look on Twitter and see every player tweeting out 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. I'm like, we just 2-0.
Kevin Cobb once went 4-0.
Exactly.
Damn it.
And that's when you start to read your own press clippings and you come out flat and think that you're gonna get given a win instead of going out there and winning and earning a win. And that's from the coaching staff on down. So we gotta. I mean, I know it's part of their job to get in the media and talk, but we gotta shut this team up. We don't play good when we talking crap. We gotta go out there and start to play the game first. But I don't know. That's just the way it's always been with this team. You get somebody in the media, they do something good one week, and you get them in the media, and they start talking, and next thing you know, the next week they come out, can't do what they've been talking about.
It's true.
But
it's true.
What else in this game that we can look at? We looked at the fourth quarter, scoreless in the fourth. That definitely can't happen again. We got to stay scoring in the fourth quarter. Kyler, let's look at Kyler's game. We already broke it down: 23 of 35, 270 yards. 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. We know the bad part of Kyler, but the good Kyler is still doing what Kyler does, and that's keep the defense honest when he's running the ball. He didn't run as much in this game, which he probably had a lot of lanes he could have, but he just chose not to.
Yeah.
Can very well, even if you're playing bad, can bring some positive stuff to the game if he keeps running, to keep those defenses honest. And we didn't do a lot of that either. So, but his running game, that juke move on the goal line. Jeff Okuda still trying to find that jock strap. I mean, that's like, man.
Although Jeff Okuda,
he came back. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he came back.
That was a nice
why
pickup.
He was the number one pick. So you gotta like that. But I'm trying to search here a few more things. Maybe we can go in and get into something else here. Let's go ahead and just do what we was talking about we were going to do today.
Here's to those who just...
Something on his head. Must mean can't get right. Can't get right. That's the kid's name? Yep. No, can't get right. Can't get right. This is you, baby. You can't get right. Can't get right.
Can't get right.
Yeah, this was pretty easy. We got a whole lot on the can't get right front. And I just probably already mentioned two of them in this dang on segment with the Cardinals. That's Cliff Kingsbury not calling a game correctly, and Vance Joseph not knowing what the hell he's doing on defense, putting his defensive players in position to lose games. That's simple.
Facts. All right, I got two. Now this does not by any means mean that this man is going to be cut from the team or needs to change. But Zane Gonzalez, man, right now you can't get right. You need to start putting the ball in the uprights and not hitting the uprights. I don't care if it's extra point. I don't care if it's a 60-yarder. We need you to do this. I believe you can do this, so I'm not calling for your jersey because I damn sure can't kick it up there. Can't get right. All right, next one for me, the Atlanta Falcons. How do you lead 3 straight games? How do you lead in the Super Bowl? How do you keep giving up these leads and you're 0-3 right now? How? How? I really want to know.
Defense, and it becomes a psyche thing after a while. Oh, if we get up, but we cannot get up 20 points, we're going to lose the game. So maybe next week, let's try not to get up and see if we can come back.
Yeah, right. I mean, come on.
But it's a psyche thing with that team now. That's got to be coaching, man. That's got to be coaching. We got one on here that somebody said can't get right. Of course, you got to throw Carson Wentz on there, man. My goodness.
That was the saddest game I've seen in a long time.
How do you have this status of so-called everybody's giving you the next elite, and you look worse than Kirk Cousins and Trubisky right now?
That's like, saying something.
Dude, that was the Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, you can't win a game against the lowly Bengals. I mean, I know your team's depleted. You got some injuries here and there, but you're the star guy. He's not making reads right. He's throwing bad throws, and he just doesn't have it. I don't see this star quarterback.
I have no answers for you. I got no answers. I don't know what that dude's problem is. Nick Foles needs to go back to Philly.
Yeah. I know, man. There's a lot of coaches we can throw on this can't get right. We saw what somebody put up here, Matt Rule, one of the coaches. He's making bad decisions in the Cliff Kingsbury on. I mean, a lot of coaching, a lot of things in the NFL is just not right. Period. But tonight, the Baltimore Ravens didn't get right. Defense didn't want to. They backed down to the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Didn't even want to stand up to them. It's like, my goodness. But
that's rough.
That's the can't get right front, man. I'm gonna go into the next segment just for the hell of it because we got time to do it.
Sports Almanac.
What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
Down memory lane. It's Lillard. He got the shot off.
Sports Almanac.
I remember it vividly.
Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw for Marquez. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single. Derek Jeter.
This is it. I remember.
Sports Almanac.
On this day, September 28th in sports history, a couple of things going down. You got to go back to 1941, but significantly why I say go back to 1941 is because of the person we're going back for, and that's Ted Williams. Ended the baseball season with a 406 batting average. Has anybody passed that yet? I know that's 1941, but I don't follow baseball as much. But has anybody had the finishing of a season 400 and something plus batting average? I'm sure it's happened, right?
Your guess is as good as mine, man. I have no idea what the stats of baseball. I can't.
Yeah,
there's too many stats in baseball.
Somebody look that up. But also 1960, Ted Williams hits his final homer, number 521 on this day, 1960, which of course we know that got broken, of course, by some people using. Anyway, 1974, California Angels, Nolan Ryan, third no-hitter, beats Minnesota Twins 4-0. Now, no-hitters are hard to come by. How does one guy get 3? Is that even doable? Can somebody break that? Has somebody tried to even come close to breaking that? I don't think so. That's hard to do.
Very hard to do.
3? Damn.
That's rough.
Yeah. 1976, Muhammad Ali beats Ken Norton in a 15-round heavyweight boxing title. 15 rounds. I wonder why they cut it to 12, because people was getting bludgered in 15. Right? Anyway, Muhammad was the man back then, of course. That was when he was in his prime.
All over the place, yep.
Also, 1979, Larry Holmes, TKO Ernie Shavers in 11 rounds. He was a champ in 1979. What else is going on? What else? In 1984, the Cleveland Indians were down 10-0, and came back to beat the Minnesota Twins 11-10 in the last few innings of a game. Wow. Has that ever happened before? I'm sure it has at some point. 84 is a pretty, that's pretty far back. Pretty sure somebody's broke that record. Here's a tight end stat that I don't think is going to ever be broken. Tight end Brian Foster on this day in September 28, 1986, catches an NCAA record 18 passes for 327 yards. That's crazy. Now, who's playing? Is that the Cardinal defense?
It's got to be the Cardinal defense. That's Vance Joseph descendants over there coaching.
Vance Joseph has to be coaching that defense for sure. Oh man! So I think that's the final thing we had. Oh no, Mark McGwire hit his number 58th home run on this September 28th in 1997, and that is what's on the Sports Almanac.
We got one more thing, real quick. Okay. One more thing. Okay, I got to clear something up with you because I told you and I led you astray. Tony Jefferson allegedly not going to be working out for the Cardinals. Unfortunately, there's a little mix-up with the whole COVID thing. They're saying he's not ready to work out yet, but they are confirming that TJ Ward is working out for the Cardinals. So hopefully we can get Tony in for a workout. Please, Tony, come on. But both? I'll take both.
Maybe you might be giving Tony Jefferson a little bit too much credit. Is that the same Tony Jefferson, though? Because remember, that's a different regime. That's a totally different regime he was playing in a totally different system.
You're right. I'm just feeling nostalgic at this point.
Oh, because you just love Tony Jefferson. You know him personally, so of course you go.
We don't know each other like that. Come on.
You're going to want that dude to come back for sure, but I get it. But, I mean, it's the reason why he's not in Baltimore, too. But he's a good player. I think Tony Jefferson is a good leader, as far as the defense goes. But I don't know. Can he fit in a Vance Joseph defense? I think anybody can fit in a Vance Joseph defense if you can play defense or try to play defense. But maybe he can teach Vance Joseph a few tricks.
There you go. Now you're getting it.
Yeah, I know. You said Ward. Where did was he like what, Cleveland?
TJ Ward, he's been around. The last picture I saw of him was on Tampa Bay. Let me see his track record here.
Tampa Bay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's been all over the place.
This is all going down because of Budda Baker being injured.
Right.
He's going to have a procedure done on his thumb, and he's going to probably be out a few weeks. So we already been giving up what we've been giving up in the passing game with Budda Baker. What do you think it's going to look like without Budda Baker? So we got to get a guy that can come in here and, I mean, it's not going to just happen overnight, putting a guy in his spot. That's a spot you just can't replace. You just got to, do it collectively. But we got to tackle better. We got to make better reads. We got to get some turnovers in the secondary somehow. We got to start generating some turnovers. And Vance, that is on you, buddy. That is on you. And Will, thank you. He came from the Broncos. Good looking out.
Cleveland, you were right. Cleveland, Broncos, and then Tampa 1 year.
This has been another show that just goes by so dang fast, but keeping up with us throughout the week. We're going to be talking this Cardinal game and breaking it down. I'm going to have the tape where you can see some of these plays that I've been talking about. We're going to break down Kyler's interceptions going forward. So this has been the Casual Sports Show. Bird Gang, appreciate you every time. Thanks for coming in on Facebook Live. Earl Burnett, my man Sean McConnell, we'll try to catch you in here next sometime, during the week in the closet, right? And
Trapped in the closet. Yeah, I'll be here on Thursday for sure.
All right. Y'all take care. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.
See you.